from the studio
From the steps of the York County Government Center.
Oh, hey, Matt.
Hey, Gary.
That's right. From the steps of the York County Government Center in York, South Carolina, at the foot of Mount...
I don't
the
know.
shores of the Catawba River.
Yeah,
whatever.
the foothills of the Appalachians.
Yes, say it with me. This is the York
County Democrat Party, YCDP
TV podcast
and YouTube channel. Yeah.
And this is episode 21, first day filing. It's the first day of candidate filing for the June 11th primary, and candidates are converging on the York County Government Center in the town of York to get signed up. Lots of Republicans and one lone Democrat, Matt Villardeau. Matt is running for State House in District 26, that's the Fort Mill area. There may be other candidates, other Democrats, filing in the next few weeks. Filing is open until noon on April 1st. But many candidates seem to want to get things kicked off ASAP. County election officials are ready for them, all set up in the lobby. So let's follow Matt inside and see some government in action. That's in action.
Hey, nice to meet you, Watts, finally.
Not in action. You know what I mean. What's the process here?
So you come down to file, you need to bring a check or money order or cashier's check with you, first of all. And for my office, it's a $208 check that goes straight to the Democrat Party. The GOP candidates pay the same fee to their party. You have to live in the district for which you're running. They have a little map over here where they verify your residence. You kind of point to where you live on the map and they're like, all right, you're good. You file, you make your payment, you take a brief oath, and then you move on, and they explain some things to you about running for office, give you any specific info you'll need, like Fort Mill. They have different rules about signage than other parts of the county, so there'll be a note in there from the town of Fort Mill. You got to do your filings with the Ethics Commission and your economic interest form, and that's it.
What's important about doing this on day one? Today is first day, right?
So for me, I want folks to know how serious I am about this. This isn't some willy-nilly decision, and this is a step that needs to be done now, and done immediately so that I can move forward with the real business at hand.
And this is the first day of filing.
This is day one of filing, started about 30 minutes ago.
And it runs till April 1st.
Correct.
And it seems pretty busy in here today.
It is very busy. It is wall-to-wall Republicans with yours truly.
So you're comfortable?
I am very comfortable because I know some of these people. Some folks are even in the Rotary Club with me. You wouldn't be able to tell necessarily by the way they interact with me here, but I'm good with everybody. It's a difference between opposition and enemies.
I'm Alan Helms. I'm the director of the Voter Registration and Elections Office. We have been a busy morning. We had a lot of candidates show up on day one, and we're excited to see this turnout for today.
Is day one always a big deal?
Day one's usually a big deal. We do have more activity on the first day. We also have a lot of activity as we get closer to the closing period. But I assume that this will be pretty steady through the entire filing period. Candidate filing is open to the public. You can watch it. You can come out here and observe it. Just like most of the things we have in our office that we have is open process, so you can come and observe those things taking place. What's important for voters to know is be ready to vote when it's time to vote. Know who you're going to vote for when you get there, so you can spend as less time in the polling location as possible, and have your ID up to date, your driver's license up to date, and check your registration on scvotes.gov.
Selfie mode gone. So your speech at the York County Convention.
Yes.
Biden, State of the Union influenced?
I would say more like Obama influence or Cory Booker.
But I mean the energy.
Yeah, I mean I bring the energy, but I mean my sources are more from those level of addresses. I mean,
understand, but more recently,
yes,
Biden
had his mic drop State of the Union, loved it, high energy, and that was certainly infectious.
I got him to admit where
hey, I'm riding with Biden all the way, baby.
and also, clearly, there's no prohibition from a little bit of campaigning here. You can't do that at a polling place.
No.
But you can do it here.
All you want.
So can they. Selfie mode back on. Watts Huckabee, Republican county council member.
Yes.
You know, I have actually screwed up because I didn't realize anybody was running for county council this election season, but they are.
Yes.
And you are.
Well, yes, we have 3 members that are up for re-election.
Okay, I've got to go fix our website.
Yeah.
And say, yes, there are people running for county council. No Democrat's going to oppose you, right?
I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't know if I have a Democrat challenger or Republican challenger at this point.
Okay.
I hope not. But.
I've seen you a lot on at the county council meetings and on the videos and stuff. Of all the county council members, you seem not the most reasonable, just plain reasonable.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That was my goal coming in.
How do you account for that? Why is that your political philosophy?
Honestly, I just said to somebody just a few minutes ago, I don't make decisions to get reelected. I wasn't even thinking about running for county council. This was not on my radar. So I got elected to represent the people, and I'm doing the best job I can with every topic that comes before us. I try to read our agenda items, be prepared for the meetings. And if I got to challenge a council member or council members or council as a whole on an issue, I'm just going to do it. And I'm trying to do what's right consistently. Do I know everything? I don't. And I try to have conversations with a myriad of people which will influence and kind of massage my thought on what I think is right and what we should do. You know, we have an issue that we're going to be talking about Monday night, and I think your camera's off a little bit, if it matters. But
everybody expects that because it's selfie mode.
But we had an issue. We have an issue that we're going to be talking about Monday night, and I'm talking to multiple people. So I got off of a telephone call with somebody this week, researching this issue, and I've come away understanding it even a little deeper now. Because you think about why something is what it is, well, you got to back up and say what happened that led to this. And should we go back and address that? It's kind of an unintentional consequence. You know, it's often what I've learned on council, and I think it happens on the state level and federal level too. You pass legislation, you can't forget about it. We pass an ordinance, we can't really forget about it. We have to, at some point in time in the future, see, well, how did that negatively impact people that are affected by this ordinance? And we might need to go back and tweak it. Because I come into this, I know nothing about development, I know nothing about zoning, I know nothing about public works, none of this.
You've learned a lot.
Yeah, I have learned
Your
a lot.
basic political philosophy is conservative.
I am.
Is it very conservative?
You know, I think it would just be issue by issue. I'm just conservative. So financially, I'm conservative by nature. I think that the taxpayers' dollars, my taxpayer dollars, I think we have to watch them carefully. But I also think that government has a responsibility to carefully, in a balanced way, leverage tax dollars to have the greatest impact, in this case in York County, as we can, but not over leverage. I don't do it in my personal life. My debt to income ratio is really good. And I think the county's debt to income ratio should be really good as well. But you got to look at the needs of the county, and in a way, you can't be afraid to address the needs. You know, it's, I don't know, look what Brandon Guffey's done after he left county council, what he's done on the state level. I applaud him for what he's done in honor of the son, but doing the right thing, right? So mental health is important, but that's an expensive conversation. There's unintentional consequences. If you have solutions to a problem, you kind of attract other people into your area.
Yeah, I can't endorse what he says all the time, but we'll let you get your say.
But you almost have to applaud him for what he's done. He's passionate about this issue. There's some things that are being discussed that are going to be somewhat difficult for probably the county or the state to consider. But, you know, point is, and go back to what you said, consistently, I'm trying to do what's right, and not for political reasons.
So they used to say all politics is local. Is it still local?
That's a great question. Before I decided to run, before my wife and I met with previous county council members and current county council members and other people that I respect, I really didn't know much about local politics. But I've throughout my life, I'm 57.
Like most people.
Yeah, exactly, yes. So I'm 57, I'll be 58 in May. I didn't know a lot about local politics, and I thought if I ever got involved it'd be on the state or the federal level, just because that's the news that I follow, right? But now that I've spent a year, and I've spent my entire life in York County, what better place to give back than here? So my objective is this. I'm going to serve probably one more term. I'm serving half a term now, half of Brandon Guffey's term, and I'll serve, I hope, 4 more years. Well, along that time period, I'm looking for the person who's going to replace me. I'd like to find a conservative-minded person that is open-minded and comes in with really no agenda, that's looking out for the best interest of York County and the citizens of York County. And if I find this person, then we'll start grooming them for this position, and I'll move on. I'll move on to be a better husband and a better grandparent and better in my businesses that I own.
I know a bunch of the people that have been following the library thing as it went through county council and now
Yes.
things that are happening on the library board.
Right.
Are you happy with this? Are you following what's happening at the library board, and are you happy with it?
Quite honestly, I'm
And I'll
not
come back
following.
around.
That's okay. I'm not following it too closely. But what I'll say is that our responsibility at the library is to appoint members to the library board and not to get into micromanaging the library. So our appointments should get involved, communicate openly with the other board members so they can make decisions in the best interest of York County. I had a meeting last week, as a matter of fact, with 3 members of the York County Library. And one of the things they're working on is literacy here in York County. I thought that was a great initiative. It's something out of the box for the library to be doing. So personally, I look at the library and I say, the library system's changed a lot over the last 10 years. Technology has impacted the library system. So what is the future of public libraries, in York County in particular? I mean, we could say what's the future of libraries across the United States, but let's focus on York County, and let's go after and do some things that are significantly impactful to the students that are in K through 12 here in York County. Do what we can to support the 4 school districts with initiatives that make us better, that increase our popularity in the educational system.
As they say, all due respect, that's very political, but you didn't really address the issues that had been hitting the library when they hit county council.
Okay.
Particularly books that aimed toward LGBTQ youth being moved to the adult section, which, best we can tell, was because they couldn't ban them, they just wanted to move them.
I got a different philosophy on that, but we don't get involved where books are, whether in the children's section or the adult section. So that's not something we really get involved with. That's for the library board to deal with. But quite honestly, when you think about the issue realistically, I think this is somewhat what's happened, and it's happened here locally. Locally,
it's happening all over.
The conservative side, I said this at a meeting recently, the conservative side has kind of been on the sideline. And the left-leaning side has gotten involved, and so what they believe is a part of the library system. So unfortunately, and we'll say the minority group that's on the left has somewhat been in charge, and I think as the conservatives say, okay, listen, we need to bend this back. It's only natural that things bend somewhat to the middle. So I think things are going to bend somewhat back to the middle. Now, is that going to make the ones on the left uncomfortable? Yes, but it's uncomfortable for the right too. So it's kind of a give and take, and I think that's the thing about politics.
Can I pin you down on your personal feelings about something then? Is a gay person, a trans person, is that an inherent part of their identity, or is that a choice and one that you think they shouldn't make?
That's a great question, but it's not one for me to say. I mean,
you don't want to go there.
No, I don't.
You have a personal feeling, you just don't want it to be a public feeling.
No, I don't think it's being on county council. Fortunately, we don't get involved with social issues. But I'll tell you this.
It gets forced on you by the audience sometimes.
Well, you're right, but I'll share this with you. I personally question why government is involved in social issues. And the only thing I can come up with is government is involved in social issues because we contribute money to it. I'm not saying that York County shouldn't contribute money to the library system. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying when you get involved with social issues, with government, with tax dollars, it complicates something. It complicates the conversation. Now, everybody involved, whether you're on the right, the left, and the middle, you got a voice because your tax dollars help them pay for it. And if anything, I think figure out how to get the tax dollars out of social issues and let social issues stand on their own.
All right. Watts, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I appreciate the opportunity
a little
to
bit
speak
of
to you today.
campaigning for the Republican County Council. here
thank
on the York County Democratic Party YCDP TV,
Well, I appreciate you
which
stepping
you
in
always
there.
watch, right?
Yes. Yeah, I do watch. I have watched, actually, yes.
You guys watch these
When
ones?
Ryan Stevens was running against me, I did watch then in particular.
And he'll be watching this one.
Yes, no doubt about it. Thank you for the
very much.
opportunity. Yes, sir.
Is this pretty much like the first time you came?
Absolutely not. So the very first time I filed was when I ran for Fort Mill Town Council, and I showed up on the last day, an hour before filing ended, and filed.
Just not sure you wanted to do it? Or?
No, I was a last minute sort of Hail Mary pass from the previous YCDP chair, so I did it. And then when I ran for FC 26 and 22, I filed, I want to say, on the third or fourth day, and that was just more out of necessity. I was on the road for work, as I tend to be, and I just could not make it until the Wednesday after the original filing day. So this time they opened it on a Saturday. No excuses. I can be here at a Saturday at noon to take care of this, and I'm glad I came. I might be the lone Democrat in here, but all these folks are like in here doing their civic duty, serving their community, trying to, in their own way, make the world better. So that should always be applauded, embracing the call to serve and not, being satisfied with the keyboard.